First, though, Guy Cocker, tech journalist. Afternoon to you, Guy.
Good afternoon.
I mean, this does nothing, does it, to alleviate conspiracy theories when you've got Google are going to track us all? How are they going to do this?
Yeah, well, actually, this information has already been published by Google today. So if you want to go and find out how much is being tracked of your movements, you can just go and Google this. I'm just realizing the irony of that now. So you go and search it online. Google automatically anonymously tracks user data, and what it's been doing is saying, let's look at the amount of public spaces that people are visiting to see if they are down from the baseline since the COVID-19 outbreak. So it's been using that data anonymously and, as you say, making it available for public health use. So you can see, for instance, that it's quite interesting that in Europe that the use of public parks and that the use of grocery stores has gone down. There was on grocery stores there was a peak just before the sort of lockdown, and then it went down. But sure. In America, it's gone down by less. So clearly, Europe is taking these sanctions and these government regulations more seriously.
Indeed. Talk about drones here, then. What's going on here? This is about delivery of items. It seems as if it's been an ongoing story, Guy, about Amazon, for example. We'll be delivering stuff by drone fairly soon. I haven't really seen it happen. I know they've tested it, but nothing's arrived at my house via a drone, not that I know of. But they are, obviously, there's talk here about really accelerating this and making this happen fairly soon.
Yeah, well, the main restrictions at the moment are government regulations that don't allow for unmanned drone deliveries. You've got to maintain line of sight between the drone operator and the drone. I think during this time, one of the unsung heroes are the delivery drivers that are still carrying on as normal and dropping parcels off. What's happening is that there's a company in Ireland that started doing deliveries of medicine to vulnerable people locked in their homes. So this ensures zero human contact. And it can execute those deliveries, as a normal delivery driver would, but just have a zero contact, so it can drop medicine into their gardens where it's in theory safer. It's probably unsurprising that China's been doing this for a while and has been doing this specifically during this pandemic as well. But I think, like remote working is sort of accelerating during this time, I think that this is going to accelerate drone delivery services. I think drone delivery services have been on the horizon for a couple of years now, but this is actually going to make them a reality, I think.
It's an extraordinary time, isn't it? We've got a lockdown, pubs are closed, no one's going to work, they've built a hospital in 9 days, drones are delivering your medicines, and on top of all of that, Google are going to track where you're going. Arrived in a funny place in a very short period of time, Guy.
Yeah, I know, and it's a lot of people will be scared by the prospect of all of this technology coming in, and perhaps, will it become the norm during this time? What I would encourage people who are listening to this, who are concerned about things like privacy and being tracked, is the tracking that Google uses is turned off by default, but if you've got any concerns, go into your profile, go into your timeline in your settings on your phone, and make sure you turn those features off.
Indeed, you can turn them all off, of course. Just before we speak to Anna from Amnesty Tech, a word, if you would, Guy. You would have seen this on social media. Everybody seems to be going slightly crazy about the fact that 5G are killing animals and plant life and all sorts of things. And there's all manner of videos circulating, showing trees that have died, birds that have fallen from the sky, dogs that have melted in the street, all because apparently 5G is very, very bad for your head and for life in general. We know that mobile phone networks have just said that theories linking coronavirus with 5G are baseless as well. I mean, this is sort of where we're at. There's a lot of mischief out there when it comes to technology, and 5G is just part of that picture.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you've got any experts that can contradict this, would love to hear from them. But as far as I understand it as a technology journalist, 5G is built on top of the existing 2G, 3G, 4G technology, which is all based on microwave technology. The spread of this information, I think, has come about because China is so heavily involved in producing the 5G technology. So Huawei has been in the news for a long time about the UK using Huawei, which is a Chinese company often linked to the Chinese government. And I think that's how it sprung about. But certainly there's no scientific evidence that 5G technology, which as I say, is built on top of 4G, does any damage to human cells or organic matter at all.
Or melting dogs in the street, as it were. Guy, thank you. Tech journalist Guy Cocker with us.